Now, dear friends, please follow my lead and perform a movement together. Lower your head and look at your belly. Don't be shy. I know many people are reluctant to do so, but today, please take a careful look. What did you see? If you notice a flat, firm lower abdomen with even a hint of a six-pack, congratulations. You are all set. Today's content isn't for you, but if you see something puffy and baggy like a water-filled sack hanging loosely with no elasticity when pressed down, then be sure to watch today's video. I need to tell you a truth you might never have heard. Your belly isn't fat, it is caused by cold dampness. I know what you are thinking. Isn't this just middle-aged weight gain? Who doesn't gain weight at this age? Let me tell you the statement, weight gain is a blessing, is the most toxic placebo in the world. Do you consider that a blessing? It is actually a time bomb. What is accumulating there isn't fat, but waste. Touch your abdomen. Does it feel cold? Do your hands and feet become numb in winter? Does even drinking water lead to weight gain? Do you experience visual disturbances due to extreme dieting while the weight on the scale remains unchanged? Do running cause knee pain yet leave your abdomen unchanged? If you nod, then your problem isn't really eating too much, but rather that the heat engine of your body has stopped working. Do not worry. Today, I will thoroughly explain this matter from beginning to end. It involves a dietary therapy formula, a specific acupoint, and 3 hidden culprits that are invariably present in your household. No significant cost required, no physical harm incurred, simply follow the instructions. But before discussing methods, you need to first understand exactly how you ended up in this situation. Alright, let's now get to the essence. Traditional Chinese medicine employs a particularly apt analogy to describe the human body. The spleen and stomach can be imagined as a boiler. Yes, precisely the large heating boiler used in northern regions during winter. What is the function of this boiler? It is responsible for converting every mouthful of food ingested by the body into usable energy and vital qi blood. The food you consume serves as the material fed into the boiler. When the boiler operates efficiently, this material is fully combusted, converting into heat, kinetic energy, and essential nutrients for your entire body. Conversely, if the boiler fails to function properly, the material remains stagnant within the system, undergoing decomposition, putrefaction, or mold growth. These decomposed substances are referred to as phlegm, dampness, in traditional Chinese medicine. Please note that this term, phlegm, does not refer to the phlegm present in the throat as you might assume. In traditional Chinese medicine, phlegm, dampness denotes metabolic waste products that cannot be eliminated from the body. Viscous, turbid, and dense substances that accumulate between visceral organs and obstruct meridians. The soft tissue mass on your abdomen results from the accumulation of phlegm, dampness. It is not adipose tissue, but rather a frozen, untransported, semi-finished product similar to half-cooked rice that remains undercooked after the fire is extinguished. When poured out, it appears as a sticky substance. Here is the question: how did the fire get extinguished? It was you yourself, who, bowl by bowl, sip by sip, personally poured cold water into it to extinguish it. Cold fruits, chilled beverages, cold salads, bananas eaten on an empty stomach, or cold fruit and vegetable juices gulped down upon waking. Do you think you are practicing wellness or consuming healthy food? Don't you agree? Let me tell you, from the perspective of traditional Chinese medicine, your behaviors are no different from chronic suicide. Why? Because your spleen and stomach are organs that require warmth to function properly. Their optimal state is one of warmth. Daily consumption of icy water or cold foods is equivalent to continuously pouring cold water into a boiler. As the boiler's temperature decreases, the heat diminishes. With reduced heat, food fails to cook thoroughly. Uncooked food accumulated in the boiler transforms into dampness pathogens. As these pathogens accumulate progressively, the boiler operates more slowly. A vicious cycle thus ensues. This is why the more you consume healthy foods, the larger your belly becomes, and the more you diet, the weaker your body becomes. Because you are not actually losing weight, you are merely accelerating the premature failure of your body's metabolic system. If you are just listening to logic, you might think I am trying to scare you. So let me share a real-life example. I know a 52-year-old woman who is a retired teacher. She is a dedicated health enthusiast. She regularly shares wellness articles on her social media feed and always keeps her refrigerator stocked with various healthy ingredients. What is her most iconic healthful breakfast? Yogurt with bananas. She believes yogurt contains beneficial probiotics, while bananas promote bowel regularity. What a healthy combination. She consistently consumes this bowl every morning without fail. What was the outcome? When she came to see me, her entire face appeared pale and dull, with no trace of color on her lips. She reported that her body weight had been progressively increasing over the years, despite consuming less food than before, and her abdomen had continued to enlarge. Most critically, she began experiencing urinary incontinence. It occurred with even minor triggers such as sneezing or coughing, as well as during rapid walking. Upon hospital evaluation, Western medicine diagnosed her condition as pelvic floor muscle relaxation and recommended surgical intervention, but she felt uneasy inside, so she came to talk with me. I examined her tongue coating. It was white, thick, and greasy, resembling a layer of frost. When I touched her abdomen, it felt icy cold and firm. Pressing on it caused her to cry out in pain. I told her, "Sister, the problem lies not with your pelvic floor muscles, but with your spleen and stomach. Your habit of consuming yogurt mixed with bananas for years has completely compromised your digestive function." Bananas are cold in nature, while yogurt is icy. Combining these two substances is like pouring ice water into your spleen and stomach. The food you ingest cannot be properly digested, and instead transforms entirely into phlegm, dampness that accumulates in your abdomen. This phlegm, dampness sinks downward, compressing your bladder and uterus. Urinary leakage is merely a symptom. The root cause is the collapse of your middle chi, meaning your vital energy can no longer support your internal organs. After hearing this, she was stunned for a long time before saying, "But online sources claim yogurt benefits stomach health and bananas aid digestion." I told her something that made her realize it completely. Online wellness advice is about nourishing others' health. Your body only listens to you. Then she asked me a particularly classic question. "Then why aren't all those supplements working for me? I've tried a jiao donkey, hide gelatin, bird's nest, and ginseng. Yet the more I take them, the more I feel overheated, develop mouth ulcers, and still have a cold abdomen." This is the second key insight I want to share with you. The body cannot tolerate excessive supplementation when it is already deficient. When the combustion process in your boiler is extinguished, even the finest ingredients, such as donkey hide gelatin, aju bird's nest, or ginseng, remain merely raw materials. Without heat, these materials cannot undergo any transformation. Not only can they not be transformed, but they will instead accumulate as new waste deposits. The occurrence of internal heat syndrome due to consumption of donkey hide gelatin does not stem from its inherent quality deficiency, but rather from the body's inability to metabolize it properly. So remember this principle. First ensure proper circulation, then supplement. First warm the body, then nourish it. Before the fire is ignited, all dietary efforts are futile. At this point, you might ask, then why do foreigners consume raw and cold salads daily and drink ice, cold water without any adverse effects? That is a pertinent question. This leads us to the fourth aspect we will discuss today: cultural genes. We Chinese are an agricultural people. Our ancestors have consumed grains and cooked foods generation after generation, and their digestive systems have evolved over thousands of years to adapt to the digestion pattern of warm, cooked foods. Western populations, particularly descendants of nomadic peoples from Northern and Western Europe, possess an innate genetic system for tolerating raw and cold foods. Their physiological constitution tends to be heat-prone. High meat consumption generates significant body heat, making the intake of raw or cold foods effective in reducing internal heat, or fire, in traditional medicine. But you are a China native. You grew up eating rice and drinking hot soup. Your digestive system is inherently designed for cooked food. To insist on consuming raw salads or chilled juices would be like forcing a boiler accustomed to burning coal to run on diesel fuel. The outcome is inevitable. it will shut down. Therefore, do not compare your own physical constitution with that of others. For some, consuming ice helps reduce internal heat. For you, it may quench excessive heat. A single character difference can make a world of difference. Alright, that concludes the explanation. Now let's get to the main content. How can I get that stalled boiler running again? Let me teach you a dietary remedy: cassia bark steamed banana egg pancake. It only requires 3 ingredients: cinnamon powder, bananas, and eggs. The method is shockingly simple. First, take a banana, peel it, slice it, and arrange the slices on the bottom of a bowl or plate. Step 2. Crack 1 to 2 eggs, beat them until smooth, and evenly spread over the banana slices. Step 3. The most crucial step: sprinkle a layer of cinnamon powder. Use just a small spoonful, spread it evenly over the surface. Step 4. Steam in a pot. Bring to a boil over high heat, then reduce to medium heat and steam for 10–15 minutes until firm. It is that simple. Let me break down why this recipe can truly light the fire, i.e., achieve remarkable results. First is the process of steaming. Steaming represents the most sophisticated culinary technique in traditional Chinese medicine dietary therapy. It involves neither frying, deep frying, nor roasting. Instead, it uses gentle steam to completely alter the physical state of food. A raw banana has a cold nature and can harm the spleen. However, after steaming, its cold properties are eliminated while yang energy is infused into it. Thus, it transforms from an enemy that brings coldness into a comrade who delivers warmth. This exemplifies the power of changing physical state. Next is cassia bark. Cassia bark is the true star of this formula. Traditional Chinese medicine holds that cassia bark has a strongly hot nature, capable of replenishing fire, assisting yang, and warming and unblocking meridians. Its most distinctive effect is termed guiding fire back to its origin. What does this mean? Let me illustrate with an analogy. Imagine your boiler where the flames have spread beyond the combustion chamber, causing widespread burning, resulting in oral inflammation, facial acne, and emotional distress. In contrast, the interior of the combustion chamber remains cool, as does the abdominal cavity. This condition is termed upper heat and lower cold. The function of cassia bark is to forcibly push these wandering flames back into the furnace, returning them to their proper place, the lower jiao and the life gate. It acts like a fuse, guiding the false fire that wander throughout your body back to its designated location, thereby reigniting that extinguished boiler within you. Finally, there are eggs in traditional Chinese medicine. Eggs are considered excellent for nourishing yin and enriching blood. They serve as the fuel for a newly ignited boiler. Cassia bark ignites the fire, while eggs provide the energy, a combination of offense and defense, of stimulation and supplementation. You see, when cooking reaches this level, it is no longer just making a meal fei. It is truly about strategic planning and organization. Take this dietary remedy once daily on an empty stomach each morning for 1 week. Upon inspection, you will notice that your abdomen is no longer cold but has begun to warm up. With the resolution of phlegm dampness, the abdominal distension will naturally subside. Dietary interventions represent only the first step. To thoroughly address this issue, you must also examine whether your bedroom is toxic. Indeed, the 6th aspect I will discuss today is environmental medicine, known in traditional Chinese medicine as feng shui. However, please do not misunderstand it. This is not superstition, but rather a branch of physics concerned with energy fields. The first mine: debris under your bed. Now stand up, go to your bedroom, crouch down, and take a look under your bed. Tell me, what did you see? Old shoeboxes, seasonal clothing, the storage box whose purchase date is unclear, even several pairs of slippers that haven't been worn in years. Let me tell you, these things are secretly draining your vital energy and vitality every night. Traditional Chinese medicine states that earth corresponds to the spleen and stomach, and the bedroom serves as the earthly site for rest and recuperation bed.